Hey everyone, welcome back to episode 4028. No, it's actually not that number, but I have started numbering my episodes. I'm going as far back as the earliest streams I have made to number the episodes. I will start keeping track of the number, but man, there are a lot. But I'm starting little by little. I think I'm up to like number 60 right now. If you go back and watch, you don't really have to watch, but like look at the descriptions, I guess. I'm putting the numbers on it. I know I started off with like, I don't know, trading crypto until I find a job, day one. Well, here I am, still trading crypto, broker than ever, and with a job. But it's okay. We will recover from it. Look where Bitcoin is right now, guys. 72,200. Yeah, anyways, I did the numbering thing up until day 100, and then I decided, yeah, from day 100, where do we go from here? Am I just going to number every day and with no title to this show? I just decided to stop numbering it and just start titling my shows the relevant topics that we will be discussing. For instance, I'm glad you asked, today we will be talking about, well, I don't have my title in front of me, Bitcoin, lows, Iran deal cancelled, Ethereum, China, ADP numbers, etc. We're going to have a great time watching the price of crypto crash live. It's going to be good. I'm going to refresh page because this is really slow. So forget everything I mentioned about resistance levels. That's all canceled. Iran deal was canceled. We might go to war with Iran for real now. No chance of diplomacy. So we're just in kind of a free fall right now. Where's the bottom? People are saying right where we are right now, 71,500. That's the level that I left you guys with. We hit a low of 71,840 ultimately, and that's just in recent hours. So it's a little bit concerning. And people are now calling for Bitcoin will go below 70,000. We're going to my level that I've mentioned, 66,000. And I think I've mentioned 66,000 for... Has it been years at this point? Have I been streaming for years? Probably. I have called for that number though, 66,000. I really hope we don't hit that, but things are kind of pointing in that direction at this point. And I don't want to make it more bearish than it has to be, because ultimately, what's the actual reason? Why are we crashing? There's no good reason. I'm sorry. I can't really find one. I've searched under the covers. I've searched all around. I have a better chance at finding a wife than I have than finding the reason of why Bitcoin is crashing. So it's rough. It's rough out there, but I'm still buying. I said, I'm putting my money where my mouth is here. I will buy if this thing does go below, whatever I said, 90,000 at the time. And ultimately, well, here we are. My average price is 84,267, which is really good. I would have loved to have this as an average price a month ago. But, well, here we are, making new lows. 72,000, like I said. What do we do here? Are we chickening out? I'm not. Buying more. Right here at all-time low. Dropping my average price now to 82,763. I like that. That is totally fine. Where do I get liquidated? It's 55,000. That's never going to happen. I'm sorry. Like, even worse of a worst case scenarios, I think people are not predicting 55,000 as a bottom for a bear market. My personal prediction for bottom of bear market, like I said, is 66,000 due to the 4-year cycle of presidential elections kind of deal. If this is supposed to be our bear market year, so be it. Let's get it over with. Let's hit an all-time low. Let's hit, not an all-time low, but, you know, cycle low, I guess. Because people have been arguing, you know what, why are you complaining? We've been up only for 3 years. Did you forget? 2023 was an up year. 2024, 2025 arguably was an up year. And now here we are. I mean, yeah, sure, 2025 was an up year. We did hit an all-time high. So, yeah, fair enough. Fair argument. But come on, it wasn't that much of a rise that we were expecting. Where is the banana zone, the blow-off top phase, the part where everybody gets ultra mega rich and we get tired of winning like we were promised. We voted for it. Not me, I couldn't vote. But so what happened? Where's the alt season? Why didn't my Shiba Inu go up 20x? What's going on here? So these are questions that a lot of people have been asking themselves, and it's difficult to answer because the cycle is a little different than before. We've noticed that. The having, well, how do I say this? Bitcoin hit an all-time high before halving. That has never happened before. The length of the cycle was a bit odd. It seems like the rise was not as great. Maybe that's arguably because we have more money in the market. But then we look at something like gold and silver going parabolic with multiple the amount of volume or liquidity, I guess, in those assets compared to something like Bitcoin. Now, sure, you can say this is literally silver and gold. Come on. These are stuff that are mentioned in the Bible, and it's biblical for them to rise, I guess. Sure, so be it. And they've been around for a long time. People have more trust in it. Okay, I get the argument. Yeah, have fun paying with gold and silver these days. I mean, you still can, but Bitcoin is obviously the future. So, that's why I still have faith in the project. I'm not giving up. I'm still buying, just bought more. So, here we go. That's my little preamble about it all. What else did I want to talk about here? Yeah, really nothing. So let's go review everything else, making new all-time lows as well. This is wonderful. We didn't get the rise that we wanted, so I'm going to delete everything and pretend I never talked about it. Downtrend continues for Ethereum. I'm using one hand. My other hand is in my pocket, because I'm too lazy. So what do we have for Ethereum? 2,126. Yeah, we did make another low compared to yesterday, so forget Fibonacci level, forget any resistance that we were to expect for this week. Seems like it's going to be a little further down. How low can we go with Ethereum? It's looking like about 2,000, which I do not like that. 2,000 to 1,977, and then ultimately 1,600. I'm predicting like an absolute bottom at no lower than 1,500 on Ethereum. If things actually go south, like if we actually go to an all-out war, and everybody's nuking each other. If everybody's nuking each other, we die. Who cares at that point? Money's not going to save you unless you buy a bunker like Mark Zuckerberg did. So, yeah, that's what we got for Ethereum. That's not going to happen. I'm just being pessimistic about it. We shall recover. Do not worry. Spot prices, these are great. I like them. But will I do it for real? No, not for real. Not touching any altcoins until Bitcoin gets out of it, the mess that it is in, because if Bitcoin does not perform well, your favorite altcoin will not perform well. Arguably, only Hyperliquid might perform well, but that's, the reason why that is. It's because of commodities and other stuff that you could trade on Hyperliquid. It's literally an exchange, so it will always do well. That's why I do like it, and I have not deleted it off my favorites. With this new UI, I could add more favorites. But at this point, I'm like, dude, I don't want to talk about altcoins or look at them at all. It's just general retail sentiment to feel this way, right? When everything is down, you don't care about it. You're like, oh, get this stuff out of here. Don't even show me that. This is ugly to see this thing, the prices just continuously crash, which, yeah, sure, it is. But this is the time to make the wealth. You're not going to make wealth when these things are at all-time high. You're supposed to already be in it and take profits. Be wealthy by the time these hit their all-time highs. Not saying that all of them will hit their all-time highs. The ones that are at least on my list here, they might, but wait, Monero, look how down it is. I just realized. 372. We were at 800. What happened? I just realized it's more than like a 50% drop. If my math is, yeah, 53% drop. Okay. Well, that just caught my eye out of the blue. I was like, okay. Still in a downtrend. Dangerous to be entering on those while a downtrend is happening. Arguably the same thing for Bitcoin, but I do have more trust in Bitcoin, of course, because it's Bitcoin. And yeah, like I said, we do need to wait for Bitcoin to make its reversal and look a bit more healthy with a brighter future, with more investment interest in the investment from normal people like you and I. Retail interest is basically at all-time lows for crypto right now, so they don't really care too much about it. My channel is popping off, as you can tell, but those who stay in it will ultimately, I don't know, something biblical. The last will be first, and then the first will be last. Who is even first right now? Gold and silver bugs? Sure. War stocks. Do we even have war stocks rising? Lockheed Martin. How is that even doing? I've not checked. LMT. Yeah, well, there you go. That's a sign of war. Oh, and I'm looking at a weekly chart. This was a 4-hour chart. It still looks good. Yeah, when stuff like war kind of happens, these will rise. Oil's kind of recovering as well, a little bit. Those are actually great times to buy. I was looking at it. I was like, dude, would I really want to get into oil? I ultimately got scared. I didn't know what was going to happen with Venezuela. Were we going to mass flood the market with a bunch of oil and crash prices because Trump wants gasoline below $2 a gallon? Seems like no, that doesn't really matter. And it would take a long time for that to happen either way. So with the war in Iran that may happen, oil is obviously taking advantage of that. Gold should be as well. I mean, we have recovered since this massive crash. Silver, not much so, but still kind of there. There's your little commodities update, I guess. Please get out of the way. So in the meantime, people don't want to hold the risky stuff, the magic internet money. They don't want to touch that. They want actual stuff that they can hold. They want their golden bars to protect them from a big nuke on your head. So that just goes to show the IQ of the people that you're trading against. That's fine though. Maybe I'm the delusional one. So Solana is on its way down as well. $91.39. Yeah. If Solana's below 100, I don't even want to talk about it, but here we are. What do I do? What do I do with Solana? I have all the Solana on Pump Fun. I might just buy some darn meme coin and hope it rises with it. Like at this point, Solana is just so useless. I was just holding Solana there because it's like, yeah, it's the same thing as me holding it in like a, I don't know, a cold wallet. The Solana is just doing nothing there on Pump Fun. And if I find a meme that's actually funny, or I see a genuinely good opportunity on memes I do like, yeah, I'll go max long on it. You can't go max long, it's only spot for Pump Fun. But then I decided, no, you know what? I'll just leave the Solana there. And well, here we go. Solana's at newer lows. Worse than even the drops that we had. It seemed like we were trying to hold above 100. Not anymore. So we're heading lower. Support level at least is there for now at 88.50. The lowest we just hit was 89.28. Is that bottom? I don't know. I really don't think so, honestly. I feel like Bitcoin, as sad as it may seem, may go lower just a little bit because of this general market sentiment, because of this war fear that we're having. Even before, even last year, I also chickened out during that war period. It was in, I'll go scroll back. Let me go to a daily chart because I feel more comfortable looking at it this way. This, I can immediately tell just by the price action itself. June 22nd, I bet you my bottom dollar. This is when the United States attacked Iran last year. We crashed right here, lost 100,000 as a support, and we were at like 98,000. I was like, dude, it's over. We're about to be, I was thinking we were going to go where we are today with this kind of tension. With these wars in Iran. But it was just a quick one and done. We bombed their 3 nuclear sites and that was it. There's a ceasefire announced and you're good. And I panic sold there. I had some holdings around over here, whatever. I panic sold and then things just kind of recovered and it's like, okay, well, I sold down here for no reason. I sold it in profit, I think, but I could have sold it for more profit. That was my issue because I had it bought since like, I think 90,000 somewhere. I don't remember. I'd have to go far back and review my stream. But you could catch my reaction live there. And oh my gosh, look at this. Yeah, this drop just does not seem too natural, does it? But that's okay. We will toughen up through it, and it shall all turn out well in the end. Because what, is Bitcoin supposed to go down forever? I don't think so. So 66,000 ultimate lowest for Bitcoin. We might bounce at 70,000 psychologically. We might have another week's pivot level that will be a break in between 66 to 70,000. I got to be careful with my numbers here. And then ultimately I do feel like a bounce has to happen. Yes or yes by 66,000. But that's like my absolute worst case scenario. I don't see Bitcoin going below that. I'm sorry. So if that's to provide any silver lining for you, Make of that information what you will. Let's move on to the best performing crypto asset right now. It's Hyperliquid. Currently at $33.88. I do recall this rise. It was just astronomical, 31% just out of nowhere, even after the big commodity craze, which was this initial rise at 57% rise. It's maintaining itself volatile, which I like. We saw this green candle in the making when we were streaming 2 nights ago. I didn't stream yesterday. It ultimately ended up slowing down at $38.41. I was hoping we would at least tap $40. Close enough, I feel. Sure. So now we're maintaining ourselves up. Supertrend's kind of on its way a little bit higher, which that's healthy. That needs to happen. So it looks okay. I like where Hyperliquid is headed towards. Get out of the way. Sui, on the other hand, looks worse than Solana. $1.07 right now. Hey, at least we didn't make a newer low, but I mean, this crash over here, this wick, does kind of suck. At 103 was our lowest. So yeah, same deal, staying out of it. I skipped over Chainlink completely. Must be so relevant for me that I just accidentally skipped over it. Same deal with Chainlink, I believe. I want to see it at $8. I feel like $8 will be one of its lowest points, but I don't know. With this bear market excuse, we might even see lower than that. I really don't think we will, though. Same as I have like my same feelings as Bitcoin 66,000 is the equivalent of Chainlink $8 is kind of what I'm expecting. We shall see if they hold on. I already talked about Sui. BitTensor, what do we even do with these resistance levels? I mean, this one kind of worked, 207. We immediately peaked above and we hit a high right here of, what is this number? 206.75, and then drawn a bit lower, still keeping the support, I guess. What do we really call the support? 178 is our absolute bottom. So that might be broken. Just keep an eye on that. 164 might be the next low target. The way this works is that, yeah, you might not understand why markets are crashing, but everybody sees what I see right here. You're in a downtrend. What are you going to do? You're going to short if you're a good trader. You follow the trend. Regardless of whatever the asset is, you cut your feelings from it because you're in the futures market. Here in the futures market, everybody is shameless. We go max long with leverages or short. We go crazy. We get liquidated. It's funny. So a lot of people will follow their strategies usually, and 90% of the strategies out there will tell you follow whatever the trend is pointing towards. In this case, it's been down for the past month or 2 months. I don't know how long it's been. Since January, sure. So people are doing the right thing, I would say. It's not the right thing for people who are looking for projects long term and their developments like that, but they're going to have to tough it out in that sense. For now, I think I'm going to delete this because I think we might expect a lower movement, so why bother looking at resistances now? Until at least we get confirmation that we have bottomed out somewhere and things are looking brighter for the future. Aptos is at $1.22. I have same feelings as it with BitTensor. Might drop to 103 for Aptos. Does not look good. And Monero. Monero feels like ultra punished, honestly. And this seems a little too low. 373 is where it's at. Like I said, after being at 800 as an all-time high, admittedly a fascinating breakout because I don't know, why is this happening? We're crashing harder than what we rose. Sure, this is because of Zcash resigning its positions, the devs resigning their positions at Zcash. And then ultimately macroeconomic factors took over. People realized Bitcoin is not rising, it's not making any newer highs. Why hold altcoins? So that seems to be the general sentiment of the market. The rest of the market cares about privacy at this point if everything is becoming devalued for whatever reason. US dollar, I feel like, is not doing any better. So what gives? What's going on? DXY. Yeah. I mean, we did have this low last week. Clearly no one cares. The dollar index is on its way up. That's not good for Bitcoin either. So, yeah. Commodities don't care because they are always going to remain stronger than the dollar whenever times of war come on. I'm talking about gold and silver. So those will do well. But risky assets like Bitcoin, people will rather not hold on to that. So let's get into the topic of what is scaring the markets, what is spooking the markets in terms of this Iran war that just does not go away. So, the US Navy has shot down an Iranian drone that approached the USS Abraham Lincoln on the Arabian Sea. Bit of tension there. Why was this Iranian drone approaching one of the warships of the United States? They decided to shoot it down. Well, I'm sure the guy who made the drone or flew it had his feelings hurt. So there's that. But they were like, look, guys, come on. Iran allegedly knows when the United States is planning their attack. Trump said, if we are to believe Trump and what he says, he said that only Iran knows the day and the hour when we will attack. I don't know. I'm sure Israel might know as well, surely, because they will be involved in the attack as well. I'm drinking tea break. What happened last year as well, please don't make me forget my brain, please. Yes, so Trump was doing the same thing as well, trying to get a deal with Iran. Israel goes ahead and starts attacking, seemingly out of the blue, and people were like, well, it seems like Israel acted on their own. The United States did not control their dog. What is going on? Trump, did you know about the attack? And he is like, yeah, I knew about the attack, and I knew that the Israelis were planning it all along. And then we say, okay, so you basically, while doing trade talks with Iran, you allowed Israel to, you just knew that they were going to attack and you allowed them to do it. So you basically backstabbed Iran in the middle of doing trade talks. What's the deal here? And this causes distrust in Iran. Iran does no longer trust in the United States. So this new trade talk that we're kind of, what am I saying trade talk? This new deal that the administration is trying to have with Iran, it's already off to a shaky start because of the lack of trust, because of whatever happened last year. Now, the Trump administration agreed to an Iranian request to move talks from Turkey to Oman, with negotiations scheduled for Friday. That was what we had so far. That's what we knew yesterday. That's where things were at. It's like, okay, seems like they're going to plan to talk about something. It was originally in Turkey, as we discussed, and it's going to happen on Friday. But moving it to Oman, why? That's my weird questioning thing. A lot of other neighboring official countries will also be, I guess, mediating between these talks. But the move to Oman, I don't understand why, but what I don't understand even more is why not? Because now those Iran-US talks have collapsed. It's over. They will no longer be having their deal, their discussions. No diplomacy. Seems like we can be going to war over this now. So the talks between Iran and the United States have collapsed after the US did not agree to Iran's demand to change the location to Oman and limit the negotiations purely to the nuclear issue. Seems like they wanted to discuss other stuff. I think it's nuclear stuff, missiles, economy, regime, something. What else? Friction point is we told them it's this or nothing. And they said, okay, then nothing, a senior US official said. So already, before the talks even start, what they're going to talk about, they're already in disagreement with. So they just decided to ignore these talks. So which one is it then? Did they agree to the Iranian requests, or they did not agree? Seems like they didn't agree because now Trump has also commented on this. I'll talk about Trump's comments later, I guess. After the Iranian talks collapsed, an all-out war is now highly possible, and this is what markets are kind of anticipating at this point. The tension is there. It always has been there, honestly, but it's there even more now. So, we are still willing to negotiate with Iran if they include the missile program and move the talks back to Istanbul and to Turkey. We urge Iran to reconsider the decision, says the US officials. We didn't expect the Iranians to just say no, which is another thing the official said. Following Iran's cancellation of the planned talks, U.S. Special Envoy Steve Witkoff will leave the Middle East and go back to Washington, D.C. tomorrow. So our Special Envoy is already coming back. There's going to be no talks. The Iranians said, nope, we don't want to have this talk if you're... What was this? We're still going to negotiate if they include the missile program. And moving back to Istanbul, it's like, nope, we want to talk in Oman, and we don't want to talk about missiles. Or we don't want missiles to be having anything to do with it. That is out of the question. We want to keep our missiles. We want to enrich uranium for nuclear weapons. We don't want supervision on that. It is our right to defend ourselves. That kind of deal. Whole complicated issue. Now Trump says that the Iranian supreme leader should be very worried now. There you go. Threats. We love it. What else is this? Are they back on or what? It seems like it's on or off. What is going on? Steve Witkoff leaving tomorrow. So Iran says no to the U.S. terms. Nuclear talks collapse. Officials say there's now a high chance the U.S. will hit Iran after the nuclear talks fell apart. Iran refused to meet unless the U.S. moved the talks to Oman, or not Omar. The U.S. said no. Who is this guy? Nuclear talks with the United States are scheduled to be held in Muscat on about 10 a.m. Friday. I'm grateful to our Omani brothers for making all necessary arrangements. Is Muscat in Oman? I assume so. Muscat. The capital of Oman? Okay, great. I didn't know that, honestly. It seems like they are kind of back now. Who is this guy? Who is Saeed Abbas Aragchi? Okay. Sayed Abbas. I'm sure I just find it from this. Foreign Minister of Foreign Affairs of Iran. So this is basically the Stephen Witkoff of Iran. Great. So it seems like he's confirming that, no, that's all false, and we will have our nuclear talks. Going against what was reported by the mainstream media, Iran says that nuclear talks with the US are still happening. Okay. So which one is it then? Vance, what does he have to say about this? An Iran nuke tomorrow means a Saudi nuke the day after. If the Iranians get a nuclear weapon, you know who gets a nuclear weapon like the next day? The Saudi Arabians, and then somebody else. So he's basically saying Iran is not allowed to have any nukes because they'll just start spreading them around everywhere. Because of their proxies, right? They have the Houthis in Yemen, the Hezbollah in Lebanon, Hamas in Gaza, all these proxies that they have, they'll just be giving nukes to. And we kind of don't really want that to happen. It's a big threat to the security in the world. There's a lot of people, too many people, having nukes. So, yeah. Fair enough in that sense. Okay. But that's not all. Of course, we have Donald Trump also having conversations with Xi Jinping. You know what? You know who I forgot to include in today's stream? That darn guy. That darn guy from Colombia. Sorry, no. We love Colombia. Gustavo Petro. I'm noting it down so I don't forget to talk about the guy later in the stream. The president of Colombia had a conversation with Trump as well. He went to the United States. This was scheduled and we talked about it. I just completely forgot the dates. I should have written it in my calendar. You know why I hate writing stuff down in my calendar? Is because it's on me, sure, but I put like the event on a calendar on my phone. And then like it's set to notify me via alarm, and my phone is connected to my watch. I usually shut off my phone at night, and then my watch, it still has that memory saved for like, okay, an event is happening. And if it's like an all-day event, for whatever reason, it decides to start vibrating and going crazy and waking me up at like 6 a.m. And I don't know why it's at that hour. But yeah, like one time when it was for, what was it? I think it was for the Supreme Court tariffs day. My watch just vibrated me at 6 a.m. Okay, pause. Anyway. And it made no sense because it's like, why am I getting, it's not even that much of an urgent notice. Like, sure, I understand a normal alarm, but like, come on, an event on a calendar. So I'm kind of being cautious with it. You can't set the alarm for like one day before or whatever days before. Anyways, it's annoying. Why am I talking about this? Trump holds call with China's Xi Jinping not long after Xi's video conference with Vladimir Putin. So it seems like these guys were talking, Russian president, Chinese president. They finish their talk, and then American president steps in. Surprise. The call with Trump also came hours after Xi spoke with Russian President Vladimir Putin via video. Damn. How do they do this? Zoom call, FaceTime, Teams. The Kremlin said Putin accepted an invitation from Xi Jinping to visit China in the first half of this year. So Putin is going to China. Nice. What about the United States? I think the United States also mentioned that they would be visiting China. Things kind of cleared up between them. So I think it was in the spring. Surely. It was either or. I think Xi Jinping would visit the United States or the other way around. Trump said that he had an excellent call with Xi Jinping. He expects positive results with China over the next 3 years. That is a big time frame. Let's hope so. He posted this on Truth Social. I've just completed an excellent phone conversation with President Xi of China. It was a long and thorough call where many important subjects were discussed, including trade, military, the April trip that I will be making to China. There you go. Which I very much look forward to. Taiwan, the war between Russia-Ukraine, the current situation with Iran, the purchase of oil and gas by China from the United States, the consideration by China of the purchase of additional agricultural products, including lifting the soybean count to 20 million tons for the current season. They have committed to 25 million tons for next season. Airplane engine deliveries and numerous other subjects. Dude, they had like a whole conversation. Why don't presidents just release their conversations with each other in like a podcast form? That would be really cool. Yeah, I get maybe they're talking about sensitive national security stuff or something. I don't know, just bleep it out or something, or cut it, edit it. But give us like a good conversation between two world leaders. That would be pretty cool. Like the way Tucker Carlson interviews Nayib Bukele or President Putin. That's interesting stuff, right? These are leaders of countries, and what they have to say is so important to me. Anyway. Everything was very positive. The relationship with China and my personal relationship with President Xi is an extremely good one, and we both realize how important it is to keep it that way. I believe there will be many positive results achieved over the next 3 years of my presidency having to do with President Xi and the People's Republic of China. Lovely. What do I think of this? Why you not talk about the cryptos? That's what I think about this. Have a crypto race, please. If China buys crypto, we would be omega rich. But maybe that's just a sign of we are in this early still, right? Because inevitably, they will have to buy crypto. They'd have to unban it. They'd have to, do whatever process for regulation that they have to accept it in their society. And then you see what they're doing with the gold. They always buy a lot of metals, gold, copper, etc. With that same strength of purchase, they will do to cryptos as well. I hope so, at least. That's what we should expect from them. So we'll see. Well, speaking of world leaders meeting, I guess here we have another one. I mean, it's from the same country. So leader of Conservative Party and leader of Liberal Party have met today. Mark Carney has met with Pierre Poilievre. What is this sitting down? Anyways, why do the Liberal prime ministers sit like this? Anyways, sorry. Canada's new government is moving fast, and we need Parliament to move swiftly to deliver for Canadians. We've put forward bills to strengthen bail and sentencing laws, build up a stronger economy, cut costs for the middle class, and protect Canadian workers. This is an important time to be working together and to pass the legislation Canadians are counting on. Sure, yes, please. We would need a more affordable life. Whether it comes from the liberals or the conservatives, just do the right thing, please. I am drowning in debt. That is awesome. So, not only this, I don't want to talk about that yet. We also had, what is his name? Stephen Harper, ex-Prime Minister of Canada. This guy was awesome. Conservative leader. There was a portrait for him that was made. Where is the portrait? Is it seriously not going to show me anymore? Here it is. There's a long-standing tradition of Canadian Prime Ministers choosing meaningful symbols to include in their official portraits. There's a newly unveiled portrait of our 22nd Prime Minister, Stephen J. Harper. I'm not going to go through all the details, but they're all there if you truly care, so that's awesome. And I'm sure he did say, I am honored to receive the Royal Canadian Geographical Society's gold medal. I don't know why we're just suddenly honoring Stephen Harper in 2026, which, I mean, I don't mind, but sure. Okay. So there's that. I sincerely hope that my portrait is just one of many other portraits of other prime ministers from both parties that will continue to be hung in the Parliament of Canada for decades and centuries to come. Okay, it's just a picture. I don't think it's that relevant. We should relax. And yeah. So, did that interview get released to the public between Mark Carney and Pierre Poilievre? I don't think so. Carney Poilievre. This is like a test for me. Am I spelling this guy's name right? I don't think I am. It's only one L. Alright, there you go. Well, here's me trying to get a guy in office that I can't even spell his name. Why are you French? That's the only thing I don't like about Pierre is his French last name. His name, Pierre, is Peter in French. Yeah, we have beef with the French. We always have had beef with the French. I studied so much French, and then I just ended up not using it at all. Like, I took French since... I remember learning it in grade 1 and being the best in the class. Because of my Spanish ties, right? I speak Spanish too. So, the sentence structure is similar for French and Spanish. Continue taking French, continue excelling in all the classes. Took French all 4 years of high school. Got the core French certificate, whatever, big flex on literally no one cared. It was good for myself, though. I have the diploma somewhere collecting dust, but that's fine. And then, in the real world, you use French 0% of the time, except for maybe reading, I don't know, the back of a ketchup bottle if you're bored at the table. Because in Canada we have like the labels in English and French for like nutrition facts, ingredients, stuff like that. I'm like, yeah, I know what all these words mean, or most of them at least. But if you ask me to like actually have a conversation with somebody in French, I'm done, dude. I don't think I can. I can try. I think I'd survive if I was just plopped in the middle of France, or I don't know, Quebec. But yeah, anyways. The beefing between these guys is funny. Great. Okay. Yeah, there's not really much else to say, I guess, about these two leaders. That thing didn't really get released, so boring. Orange Man bad. Yes. Okay, great. Moving on from Canada. What I just deleted. Oh yeah, I did. Okay, hold on. There was one more thing I wanted to talk about that I deleted because my brain is just way too large. So, more than 30 police officers, including 9 from Toronto Police, have been arrested for charges including drug trafficking, leaking addresses to hitmen, auto theft, and leaking addresses of officers. Dude, even our own cops are against us at this point. What do we do? There is also conspiracy to murder a unit commander at Toronto South Detention Center. Wow. Hey, relax, cops. Please, just do your job. Protect and serve. Arrest the bad guys and move on. Okay, Kamala Harris, let's go. She teases a major announcement tomorrow. I guess I could literally look up her name, and everybody is talking about this because she's been so irrelevant for the past year and a half. Here she is now. Yeah, I actually unfollowed her because I was like, dude, I don't want to see. You know what? Fine. Kamala Harris, we'll give you a follow. She posted this, I guess. Tomorrow is the big announcement with her trying to log in with different words Way too online. The babysitter is weird. Project 2025 was real. Headquarters, logging you in. Kamala Harris headquarters, HQ. That's basically the teaser trailer, which a lot of people are like, oh no, she is going to announce her 2028 run for president by June 30. That has spiked up in prediction markets. I think this is a predict. What even is this? It is another prediction market that I'm just not aware of, I guess. Okay. Kamala Harris said she... Oh, that's 2025. Old news. Garbage. Yeah, so we might be getting a new Kamala Harris announcement that she is running for president of 2028. Like, that's going to work out. It's going to be her versus possibly this. JD Vance and Marco Rubio ticket. Even Donald Trump has spoken fondly of this, saying that it would be a hard-to-beat ticket for 2028. JD Vance and Marco Rubio. I don't know. Without Trump, it seems like it's over. I feel like Trump leaves, and I don't know if the United States will continue to be great. I don't know. I could be proven wrong with JD Vance. I'm willing to give the guy a chance. But who are we going to vote for? The Democrats? I don't know. If it's Kamala Harris, dude, it's over. Like, I don't think she's going to win against JD Vance or literally any other Republican candidate. Democrats having Kamala Harris, in my opinion, I feel like it's just a setup for failure. I don't know. Dude, she was going to tax her unrealized gains. Are you crazy? People are in... Where was it? They already did it in Switzerland, I think. Someplace Europe. Or they're planning to, at least. A bill was passed for it. We'll see. We'll see if that does happen. But that's a terrible idea, of course, in general. Odds for a Clarity Act signed into law are on the rise, 71% chance that it happens, which is good. The act will bring trillions who have been gifted a discount. Oh, I get it, yeah. Wait, what do you mean trillions? This act brings trillions who have been gifted a discount. What? It will bring trillions of dollars to those who are buying at a discount. Is that what you mean? I have no idea what this means. People are saying it may be by April. Sure. We'll see, dude. It just keeps getting delayed. I'm pessimistic about it. I'm indifferent whether or not it passes. It would be great if it passes, right? But it's just been dragged on and delayed for forever that it's just kind of lost its impact, its charm, its hit, you know? You don't get the same high from it anymore. The U.S. House approved funding to end the government shutdown and send the bill to Trump for signing into law. Great. Shutdown is over, officially, I think. Is the shutdown over? The shutdown over. Why did I put a question mark? Trump signs bill to end the shutdown, but another budget cliff looms over ICE funding. Who cares about that? Stop fudding. It's over. Trump signs the bill ending the federal government shutdown. No more government shutdown, finally. The only good thing, no, not even a good thing. The only thing we got from the government shutdown was delayed economic data for the non-farm payrolls. We're not getting them this Friday anymore, which is that tomorrow? No, today's Wednesday. Oh, dude, why can't it just be Friday already? I already want the week to end. Like, anyways. So we're not getting non-farm payroll data yet. It's going to get delayed. At least we have ADP data to focus on for now. That came in today. So this is basically non-farm payroll data, but privately owned company that does their own numbers based off of their own estimates. So this is not like actual official numbers, but it's good to base it off of for estimates. When we did have our government shutdown back in October, we were using a lot of the ADP data because they were still running. They're independently owned, they're not ran by the government. So we were kind of using them to determine how the jobs market is doing. And they were pointing in the right direction for a while. Right direction for a rate cut, that is. And the Fed ultimately agreed because the shutdown dragged on for, you know, the longest shutdown in history, as we all know. And ultimately, the Fed said, you know what? I think we have to cut just in case, because we really don't know what the numbers are. But a lot of it, of course, was based off of the ADP numbers. One of the largest payroll processors in the US just released its largest private sector employment data. So we were expecting 45,000 jobs to be added. We only got 22,000. Not a lot of jobs being added. Job market suffering. You must cut rates. This is bullish. Right? What does this mean, Grok? This points to slower hiring and signaling a cooling labor market. Does this mean that they would likely cut rates? It signals a cooling labor market, which increases the likelihood of a Fed rate cut in March to support growth. Indeed, there you go. Henceforth, bullish. However, CME Fed Watch, they still show the 90% probability that we will maintain rates. Yeah, I think it's still like, regardless of any data that we do get, we're going to be staying at these same rates until that guy Powell leaves and Kevin Warsh joins. He's not going to be hawkish like he was 20 years ago. He'll have to do what Trump wants, kind of. At least a little bit, right? So yeah, anyways, silly post here. Sailor Tracker turns on its birthday mode in honor of Michael Saylor's birthday. Cool, it is Michael Saylor's birthday. That's funny. You know the orange dot stuff that he puts on here? Anyways. Tomfoolery. There's no way Michael Saylor messes it up this time, right? Like next week, or this week, I guess, end of this week, when he releases his buy notification, is he still going to buy at like the highest possible price? If he buys anything above 80,000, like I'm throwing my computer in the garbage and this guy is terrible, worse trader than I am. Because how do you even mess up that bad? Come on. Well, I mean, sure, maybe I have messed up that bad. Look at my average price right here, but hey, I'm trying. I'm still buying the lows. Every time I buy, we make a new low. I've just noticed that on stream too. What did I just buy at? 72,167? We're at 71,700. Already down $400 or $500. I cannot do math. So anyways, it's lovely. We love this. Anyways, who's buying? Who's selling? Here we go. Grant Cardone. Cardone Capital adds more Bitcoin to their reserves at 72,000. That's a great buy. For those who wanted a lower price, now you have it. Let's see if you follow through. Yeah, guys, come on. For those who think it is going to zero, you're a little closer now. You just have to wait and see. Oh, that's a good one. Nice one. How much did he buy? Yeah, how many? 0.1. Come on. Come on, brother. Does he actually announce how much he bought? I thought he would announce that. No, I guess not. Okay, well, he's scared. We bought a lot of Bitcoin this week, says Michael Saylor. Are we sure this is not an old picture? Okay, well, wait, when was this? February 3rd. That was yesterday. Sure, decent price. There's no way he messes it up, is what I'm saying. Michael Saylor, please don't mess it up. And happy birthday, by the way. Enjoy your 58th birthday as a single man. Anyways. His autism saved him, okay? He's an angel. We must protect him. Epstein could not find a way to mess with Michael Saylor. Never forget that. Binance's Seifu fund purchased an additional 1,315 bitcoins, worth $100 million. That's their second day of buying Bitcoin. They're doing it at $100 million at a time is what it seems like, until all the $1 billion is consumed in purchasing Bitcoin. They're changing their funds from having a stable US dollar in there of $1 billion, a fixed amount, to having a variable amount that moves in price of the fluctuation, that fluctuates in the price of Bitcoin, which we are obviously expecting Bitcoin to go higher. If Binance is willing to change the Seifu fund from stablecoin to Bitcoin at these low prices, I don't think the guy Binance is expecting that. My English is just perfect. I don't think the guy's expecting Bitcoin's price to fall much further, don't you think? And I said the Binance guy. CZ is who I'm referring to, obviously. So we'll see. Get ready for Bull Summer 2026. World Cup. Kevin Warsh 100 basis point rate cut, dude. I don't think he's cutting 100 basis points, but he'll give us a cut or two. That's for sure. World Cup. World Cup, huh? I like the World Cup. Is it actually 2026? When is the next FIFA World Cup? Oh, it's starting in June 2026. All right. Canada versus whomst. What are all these countries, man? Are these countries even real? Where's Ecuador? Here we are. Versing Ivory Coast. Easy game. All right, guys, let's go back to crypto. Oh, we're versing Curacao as well. All right, and then... Oh, we're versing Germany. That's a big L. We're immediately losing that. Unless Germany fell off, I don't know. Didn't they win the 2014 World Cup, I think? They won something. Was it 2014? Was I even alive in 2014? Yeah, I was. Okay, why is that relevant? Because Crypto.com will have a billboard that says Crypto.com at the World Cup on the, the bleachers on the side of the, the corners of the, you know what I mean. You've seen the Crypto.com ads. Surely we got some good advertising for crypto by then. It's going to be in the United States, I think. Where will the World Cup be? It has to be in the United States, right? Because we had the FIFA president give Trump the trophy, the World Cup trophy, whatever it was. The United States, Mexico, and Canada. So it's all North America, basically. But America will be part of it. So if America is indeed the crypto capital of the world, surely we promote some crypto at these events. Well, let's see what other countries are doing. Bhutan, it seemed like they were bullish at some point. Well, not anymore. They've been selling Bitcoin. They sold 184, worth $14 million. Oh no. This is literally Germany all over again. That's why we don't like Germany, because they sold Bitcoin. Sold Bitcoin at 50,000. They never learn. Why are they selling anyway? Maybe they're actually scared, like actually. Yeah, they sold 100 Bitcoin 5 days ago too, and just today they sold another 184. All right, Bhutan, indeed. We'll see. We'll see how you feel about this one. The Bitcoins rise. Why do you wait until now to sell is another thing I don't really understand. 82% chance of Bitcoin falling below 70,000. Dude, I don't want to look at my poly market bet right now. It's probably going to be horrid, but we shall see. Oh, great. I'm not even logged in. I hate this. Starmer out? Did I just see that right? Cure Starmer is... Oh, dude, this is the wrong account. Gosh, I hate this. Starmer out by June 30. 43% chance. I support that, but why? Why is that happening? When is UK elections? Oh, it's this year. Oh, it's happening like actually soon. May 7. In a couple more months. Okay. US strikes Iran. The odds of this are not on the rise. So, a 50% chance it happens by June 30, though. Maybe we're waiting for like a 1-year anniversary or what. Odds of coming out by March 31st. A high odd of this. The odds of him being out being over 20 is 76%. What a weird way to put it. That is so weird. Yeah, I'm losing a lot of money here. 144. Awesome. Might just lose in Bitcoin and in my poly market bet. No, but I really do not believe Bitcoin will go lower than 66,000, so this should survive. Ultimately, when things do turn around, the optimism shall come back, and I will profit from this. Bitcoin dipping below 65,000 by December 31st. I probably should have put the bet now. How was I supposed to know that Bitcoin was going to drop to 71,000 on February the 4th? Come on now. Moving on. We are excited to introduce Fidelity Digital Dollar, FIDD. What a terrible ticker. It's a new stablecoin issued by the Fidelity Digital Assets, NA, and pegged 1-to-1 to the US dollar. Let's go. Another stablecoin. Hooray. Why? Where does a suspicious link take me to? The title of the page is just stablecoin. I love that. What do you offer that the other guys do not offer? This is bright. My eyes. Okay. Cookies? Okay, I'll accept some cookies. Where's the cookies? Reserves, FAQs. Can I feel confident holding this? Yes, it's backed by assets of an equal or greater value. Use cash, treasuries, or other safe liquid assets in the accounts. Yeah, same as Tether, I guess. Why? This is a good one. This is literally slop. This is not an actual answer. Okay. Is that it? Yeah, it's literally just another stablecoin then. Okay, not bullish at all on this, but congrats, I guess. At least they are able to develop stablecoin technology. I'm not able to do that, so what am I talking about? This is funny. Vitalik keeps on selling Ethereum after a super red 30% down week. You cannot make up stuff like this. Why is everybody selling? Bhutan selling at all-time lows. Vitalik himself, the founder of Ethereum, selling Ethereum at all-time lows. This is basically all-time lows, 2,130. What's the point? I saw a funny meme where it's like Vitalik rushing to go sell Ethereum that Tom Lee just bought. That was so funny. Anyway. Not only that, but he's actually spreading more FUD on his own chain. What is this guy doing? Vitalik posted this on Twitter, saying there have recently been some discussions on the ongoing role of L2s in the Ethereum ecosystem, especially in the face of two facts. L2's progress to stage 2 and secondarily on interop has been far slower and more difficult than originally expected. And L1 itself is scaling. Fees are very low, and gas limits are projected to increase greatly in 2026. If you don't know what any of this is, a layer 2, an L2, is another crypto project that uses a blockchain, in this case Ethereum, to basically taking advantage of that technology, making things faster and cheaper for transactions. Stuff like that. At least that's the way I understand it. That's what a layer 2 is. The layer 1 itself is the OG blockchain itself. Solana, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Sui, Aptos, Sonic, etc. All are layer 1s. The layer 2 projects, big news for the unemployed. That is so funny. That's stuff like Arbitrum, Base, Optimism, Polygon. They run using Ethereum to kind of improve. It's just a meme. Forget the meme. Vitalik says that L2s no longer make sense. That just defeats the purpose of literally all these projects. Abstract, Mantle, Scroll, Silo, Linea, Blast, Eclipse, Taiko, Katana, Manta, Loopring, Zora, Starknet, and ApeChain. I don't even know half of these, but yeah, that exists. I know most of them, okay? Relax. And what Vitalik is basically saying, I understand why he's saying it, but also why are you saying it? Like, you shouldn't really say the quiet part out loud. L2s also, you know, they're built to be an improved version of your L1, but Vitalik is kind of flexing, saying the Ethereum L1 is already so good that the other layers that use it to make it better don't really make it better, because L1 itself has low fees for Ethereum in this case. The gas limits are projected to increase greatly in 2026. I assume that's a good thing, right? Increasing gas limits reduces the gas price, right? Does increasing gas limits reduce gas price? Crypto. About to be proven wrong. It does not. Okay, well, what do you mean then? It raises the maximum total cost you are willing to pay for a transaction. Okay, it's... Right, I get it. Why even have the limit there, though, in the first place, I guess? To cap the... whatever. Weird stuff. Both of these facts, for their own separate reasons, mean that the original vision of L2s and their role in Ethereum, it no longer makes sense, and we need a new path. That's another thing he's trying to push for innovation, right? Guys, your L2s suck. Do something that actually works. Make good utility crypto projects. So he's kind of trying to push the community. But people took it in the wrong way, I guess. And Polygon says, due to market conditions, we now identify as a side chain. That is so funny, side chain. Yeah, how original. Litecoin also another L1. Okay. Thanks, Vitalik, for spreading FUD. You're awesome. Other people want to put the blame on Trump. Here's a post defending it, I guess. I don't know. I'm going to read through it and I'll give my thoughts. Trump launching the Trump meme coin was the most brazenly fraudulent thing I've ever seen a president do. The family should be investigated. Okay, relax. It's not that serious. I think maybe it is serious. Who knows? That said, the reason crypto is down is not because of the Trump. I read this 10 times a day on crypto Twitter. The truth is that he pushed every policy and PR to pump it up. It is simply the fact that crypto is not giving value anywhere near the prices that we set when Trump got elected, which is true. Sure, we may or may not have overreacted when Trump got elected. Things were rising a little too hard, even for my own belief, right? This was me looking at Bitcoin's price consolidated between 60 and 50,000 for a good portion of basically since I started streaming. I started streaming in 2024 June. I actually started trading before that though, like February or March. I was studying and trading the markets on my own. And then I decided, you know what, the best way to learn this, the best way to force myself to read news every day and learn more is, of course, by streaming, by teaching the subject itself. I'm not a teacher and I'm not good at it, but hey, I'm trying and the channel's grown a little bit, so I'm a little content with that. But for that whole portion of 2024, the price has just been lateralizing and going down. I'll go to a weekly chart to show what I'm talking about here. This, I lived through all of this. No, not this. It's this. I was wondering why it looked weird. It's this. All just sideways movement of up and down, making new lows dangerously, about to end the bull cycle early, whatever the case was, making an all-time high before halving. We had an all-time high in March. At that time, 73,000. 2021 high was only 69,000. You get the point, right? Cycle was a bit different, confusing. I traded through it. Trump wins, and then we just go a little bit too high. But at the same time, this was the time for this to happen. And we were getting the policies we wanted. We have the Bitcoin reserve. We're getting all this pro-crypto administration. Trump launches a meme coin. He's talking good about crypto. First time we ever see a president talking good about Bitcoin and crypto. Until now, it's kind of been forgotten. Yeah, it sucks to see Bitcoin at these prices. My ultimate lowest worst case scenario, it's not that far off from here. So I feel like it's going to end soon. We might, I don't know, be consolidating at the bottom while we reaccumulate strength. That could absolutely be the case. But look how the super trend is moving in the weekly chart as well. It's dropping down currently at 101,900. Yeah, 966, almost 102,000, okay? That's pretty close to 100,000 itself, which would further reinforce the importance of a 100,000 resistance level if we are to recover from these lows, which we absolutely will. Spoiler alert, I come from the future. So I'm trying to prepare in advance for that. Yeah, I'm running out of money, but I don't expect this thing to drop much lower. 66,000, literally right here. Don't expect price to drop lower than that. That's what I feel like. Maybe I will be wrong. I don't know. I'll be streaming through it all. And I'll take the blame, I guess, if it drops lower. But don't do financial advice move because, you know. All right, moving on. I did not even go through the post yet. Oh my. So that being said, yeah, Trump, Orange Man, not bad. Relax. The truth is that he pushed every policy and PR to pump it up. Yes, I know. We valued Solana at $140 billion while it generated $2.4 billion in revenue. So that's a 70 times in its valuation. Are you saying that Solana deserves to be $2.4 billion? If that is true, then Solana would be number like 30. 2.4 billion. You're just basing that off of its market cap? Yeah, number 30. Hey, what is this? Anyways. Yeah, strange. Right? 2.4 billion? Yeah, around here. I don't think the maths like that. But anyways, Trump could not even give citizenship for owning Solana, and that value would not go up with its revenue being down nearly 50% of that. The flip side was candidates who were and still are pushing for taxes on unrealized gains. Yeah, that's what I was... Coincidence. I talked about that with Kamala Harris. They wanted to make owning or trading unreported crypto illegal. Dude, it's really bad. In Canada here, I don't know how much details I should go into this, but I was trying to transfer money from BitUnix to Wealthsimple account. And no shade on Wealthsimple, they're great, but what the heck. There's a margin account that I have there too. While trying to get the funds... Okay, so I sent USDC to myself, right? Send USDC to my Wealthsimple crypto account. There I can sell the crypto for American dollars and use that money to send it to a margin account because, yes, newsflash, things are crashing and you're going to get a margin call, so you better put some funds in there. God forbid, you know, you miss a due date and the payment I mean, the lack of a payment will make you have a forced liquidation event on some of your assets. And these are like actual stocks, equities, right? So I give it a different inch of importance when it comes to that. Now, I could not transfer the crypto funds into the Wealthsimple margin account, even though it's internally in the same account and the funds are available. They're there. I already sold the crypto. The fiat money exists. I just can't move it between accounts. And I'm like, why can I not move it between accounts? If I get liquidated, it's their problem, not mine. Like, the money is there. I'm willing to transfer the money. They're just not allowing me. I do the system transfer and it says, oh, you encountered an error. Try again later. I call them, get the runaround many times. They said, oh, it's because you had this transaction last year in November. It's like, dude, come on. Really? Are we going to go that far back? And it's like, yeah, so you send crypto to this address. What is that address? Does that address belong to you? Do you know what you're doing? Do you know who you're sending crypto to? I was like, yes, I know. It is my own wallets. I have multiple wallets. This is crypto. Relax. I get to do what I want with my own money. But they're very controlling with it. And that's what I did not like about it. And I was also kind of working at the time while I was making the phone call. So I didn't even get to finish eating my lunch during my break. And they're just so controlling with it. It's like, who does this address belong to? Send us a screenshot that it, you know, as proof that it belongs to you. It's like, dude, just leave me alone. And also, like, where did these funds come from? I was like, dude, it's from my trading account. You want to know why I lost a lot of money? Okay, that's why I'm transferring the money back, because I cannot make money there. And I just have this leftover amount that I want to use to protect my funds. Please let me transfer the money. It's like, okay, no, but 72 hours, somebody will call you back. Oh, dude, come on. Just let me transfer the funds. Why did I go on this rant? Yes, the intrusiveness of these companies. Look, like or don't like Trump, adopting the Euro-globalist strategies of Kamala definitely was not the way to go. That's what we were experiencing in Canada. The issue right now is we overvalued and are now so soggy about it we cannot see the opportunity in front of us. That is also true. Maybe we deserved this correction because things were a little too overvalued. How overvalued? I mean, how much of a correction will we get? I mean, I think that we are basically at a fair value point. A lot of moving averages have been broken where the price is, right? Even if you're looking at a weekly chart. So I don't think we deserve to be this low either. Look how we're about to be like, we are oversold actually on the weekly chart. RSI 29. I don't think I've ever seen that in a long time. Last time we saw something close to this was literally here, June 2022. And this is another spooky thing that people are comparing. Is the previous cycle of 2020 to 2022. They're using that drawing, copy pasting it right over here like this. What do you make of that? So they basically draw the exact movement over here, take that exact movement, and paste it into today's charts. I mean, that basically means the bottom is here. Will that mean a whole year of consolidation? That would mean that throughout the midterms, Trump is going to do nothing about the crypto market to maybe pump it up. He obviously wants the votes. He's going to have to do something for the crypto market. We're going to get Kevin Warsh, who is going to cut rates whether you like it or not, whether you believe he will or not. He cannot be hawkish in this age. He's not allowed to. Trump will not allow that. I mean, surely. Otherwise, he wouldn't have picked him. Trump wants somebody that will cut the rates. Of course, he's not going to exaggerate, I don't feel like, and it also does depend on the rest of the Fed governor's decision. It also depends on other macroeconomic factors, the economic data that we normally get. So nothing is guaranteed in that regard. But I mean, even if you draw this, sure, if you just like literally copy paste this chart, they do look similar. How low is this? I don't see anything lower than potentially 66,000. If this is 60,000, this line, this is 70,000. I mean, to be fair, the chart is literally at 77,000. This is an old drawing. I say old, it's probably like 1 week old, sure. But lower than 66,000, maybe we do indeed consolidate at that area. Do not go lower than that. And then maybe start rising again. Maybe. I don't think this is actually going to happen, though. I mean, we're kind of already there. Like, this is like the last bit of the arrow that we're drawing over here. So maybe, sure. Silver lining. This is really undervalued. Literally what I was just saying. I did not read this in advance, I promise. The entire financial world is now adopting it. That is true. We just saw Fidelity, a darn bank. No, they're an investment company. They have their ETFs. It's only fair that they release a stable coin. But everybody's adopting it. We also had all these major banks saying, planning to buy more crypto, advising their clients, yeah, you should hold some crypto, at least like 4% in your portfolio. I'm sure the boomers are ripping their hairs out right now, but they'll be fine. Tough it up. Policy-wise, business-wise, adoption-wise, crypto has never been in a better strong spot. Literally true. Fundamentals are so strong. They always have been, ever since Trump has taken office as well. The point is to stop throwing a tantrum and try to find the blame outside the blatant tulip mania we all try to profit from this industry. Instead, look at the fact that tulips have bloomed into full-blown trees and are now being sold at absolutely oversold prices. Stop looking back. Look forward. The future's bright. Nice. The Terra 4 is the number one reason liquidity kept leaving the market. No. Nope. Tariffs being on and off brings the volatility, and that's what we like to see. Whether it's to the upside or to the downside, Trump has made things exciting. You cannot deny that. With Kamala Harris, it would have been a slow, painful rise upward. If that, I don't think we would have risen that much with Kamala Harris in office. What do we think? What does AI think? I actually want to ask this to Grok, so let's get the Grok ready. Where is my Grok? Here we go. Where would you think Bitcoin's price would be today if Kamala Harris won the presidential elections in 2024? And based off of this answer, I will use toward my 2028 election vote. If she does indeed announce that she is running for president tomorrow. What are we thinking? Come on. I literally have this set to the fast mode, and this is really thinking too hard. Listen, man, give me the honest truth. You can tell me Kamala sucks, okay? I won't tell anyone. I'm only streaming in front of a couple of people. That is crazy. 50,000 due to her expected stricter regulations under Harris. Guys, I'm here to tell you that you're fine, okay? This is not the worst case scenario. Things could have been a lot worse. Okay? Yeah, do not vote Harris 2028. God forbid. Huh. Well, here we are. We're making new lows still. Yeah, it sucks. I mean, what do you prefer Bitcoin at? 70,000 or 50,000? If Bitcoin was at 50,000 right now, I'm out. I'm liquidated. I do want to ask, what would you think the all-time high for Bitcoin would have been if Kamala Harris was in power? Yeah, what do you think? All-time high could have reached 150,000 under Harris due to regulatory shifts. No, okay, it's not even, that's not the actual answer. I mean, people were also expecting 150,000 even under Trump. Bitcoin's price was 66,000 during elections, and that is part of the reason why I don't think it will go lower than 66,000, because historically that has never happened. After a US presidential election, whether Democrat or Republican, okay, that aside, Bitcoin has never gone below its presidential election date. It's still thinking. Must really not want to offend anyone here. Come on now. Around 80,000. Oh, that sucks. Come on. So let's just say October of 2025, Bitcoin would have only hit 80,000. After being at 66,000, what would this chart even have looked like? I don't think we would have immediately rised if Kamala Harris won. If Kamala Harris won, we would have immediately crashed because we knew what that meant, right? We're not having the pro-crypto administration. We're getting taxes on our unrealized gains, and nobody wants to have any unrealized money at all if you're going to get taxed on it. What's the point of investing? It drives out the investment from the country. So we would not have had this explosive growth. There would have been no Trump meme coin. The guy Trump, what would Trump even be doing right at this point? What would Trump have done if he did not win? That's another one. What would Trump have done if he did not win in 2024? Actually, that's a stupid question. Who cares? So, I don't even know when. Like, just give me sometime 2025. Bitcoin's all-time high hits 80,000. And then in today's price, like, sure, that was a new all-time high. Hooray, Bitcoin hit 80,000. 4-year cycle would have been dead a lot earlier. And in today's price, we would be estimated at 50,000. Yeah. Relax, guys. We had a good run. Let the prices correct. Let them drop where they have to drop to. I'm hoping no lower than 66,000. I'll keep reiterating that. Major resistance 100,000. That's always going to be a thing. And I'm just going to keep on DCAing. Seems like the right choice. So, yep, my journey will be documented live as per every day. That is all of the news I had to talk about today. So, ready to end the stream here. Great. Great. Oh, you know what? I forgot about Gustavo Petro. I might as well go see what they talked about with this guy before I actually sign up. Gustavo Petro. Trending. That's nothing. That's engagement bait. What is this? I don't think much happened, right? Yesterday, Trump meets with Colombian President Gustavo Petro at the White House. What was even discussed? Did Trump announce anything on Truth Social? Okay, relax. Make America Great Again. Yep. Wait, what? Oh, wait, what? Oh, Trump gave him a copy of the Art of the Deal book? This is literally from Gustavo Petro's actual account. What does that say? You are a goat? A rat? You are a great pendejo. Nice. You are great. Okay, that's what it says. You are great. Donald Trump. A signed copy of the Art of the Deal. That's based. Okay. Yeah, nothing major seems to be announced here. Okay. That's all then. Trump endorsing a lot of people is what it seems like here recently. That's about it, really. Do you guys see this? Who's the best crypto influencer on X? I put Young Hoon Kim. This guy's still bold posting. Yeah, amen. Anyways, moving on. Today marks the final bottom. No second chances. Tomorrow is going to say the same thing. That after we make a new bottom. Everyone doubts. Perfect timing. Has been saying this since yesterday. Bull run starts today, he said on February 2nd. Right over here. Bull run starts today. Boom. You got a big fat crash. My meme coin got hacked. Bottom confirmed at 77,000, guys. We're at 71,000 right now. He's just getting mega community noted. Looks like a super pump is coming. January 31st. Boom. Look at this crash on January 31st. Yeah, super dump, more like it. Bitcoin's about to pump hard, more like dump hard, because what was this? Why did we drop 4% in 4 hours? Yeah. Paying attention now. He's drawing this in the 5-minute chart. Brother, zoom out, look at the 4-hour chart. It does not look pretty. Yeah, okay, that's enough. No more clowning. Sorry, we love Younghoon Kim, okay? He's much smarter than all of us combined. Alright. Yeah, that's enough for tonight, guys. Thanks so much for watching the stream. Hope you enjoyed. I will see you guys tomorrow, and we will talk about, I don't know. So we'll get there.